You're breaking my heart. I'm sorry, have I kept you waiting? Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's no good, Brian. We'll have to secure diggings elsewhere, you know. I mean, it's all right in a transitory sort of way. Sharing a bathroom and toilet with 7 other people, you're lucky to get in there more than once every 3 days. Oh, yeah. I'll have a bladder like a beach ball if this goes on. Aren't you changing, then?
What?
Well, you're not coming to a rock concert looking like that, are you? Can't you dirty yourself up a bit?
I'm busy.
Well, come on. If we're quick, we can run your trousers up to Scratchwood. Get half a dozen Hells Angels to run their bikes over them for you. Give them a bit of character, eh?
I'm not coming.
What do you mean you're not coming? I've gone and bought the tickets.
I've got something else to do.
Oh, that's marvellous.
Well, there's nothing to stop you going on your own.
It was easier picking up birds when there's 2 of you. At least when you come along, you're company for the ugly one.
Oh, I get the ugly one. That's rich coming from you. If you'd seen the mantelpieces of some of the fires you poked, my God, Steve. You throw away your looks of coal and hang up your poker.
Different criteria, Brian, that's all. Different standards.
Anyway, I'm not going.
Killjoy Brian, that's you. That was always you. Countenance of disapproval, the prophet of imminent doom. Flask of tea amongst the beer bottles. Why don't you want to go?
Got more important things to do.
Such as what?
I'm not going out tonight because I want to study.
Seems to me all you ever want to do is study.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to appreciate the value of anything intellectual, don't worry.
Oh, reading a book makes you an intellectual, does it?
Do you know it wouldn't do you any harm to read the occasional book? They're very easily obtainable, you know. They sell them in places called bookshops.
I read things. I read enough books.
This is what you read. It is not a book. It is a magazine, and you don't read it. You dribble over the pictures.
I have articles in here.
Articles is all they do have in there.
Yeah, well, anyway, one way or another, you're getting to be about as much company as a stuffed dog.
Come on, Steve, it's just a week to go before my exam. Surely you can appreciate that. You'll be all right. Someone's bound to buy the ticket off you.
You never want to go anywhere these days. You never want to go anywhere, do you? Have to go everywhere by myself. You won't go up the pub. You won't go and see any bands. You won't go and chat up any birds. You don't even want to go to Croydon.
Croydon? Why do you want to go to Croydon? What's in Croydon?
Just fancied a look around, that was all.
Anyway, I'm not going out tonight. Oh, look, honestly, I'd go if I could, but if I don't study, I'm not going to get through my exams.
Exams? Quite frankly, Brian, I don't know why you bother. I mean, what do they prove? That for a couple of hours on a particular day, you knew approximately the right answers to half a dozen questions. On that basis, a random monkey poking at a typewriter could end up with 15 scholarships and 26 A-levels.
So how should we decide who goes to university, Steve? Should we base it on their inside leg measurements?
No, I didn't mean...
The depth of tread on their plimsolls?
No, I
Best
didn't...
of 3 on the dartboard. Better still, how about a round of toss the welly? The one with the furthest throw gets an instant medical degree and can go around taking out livers.
Oh, so read your book. I'm not stopping you. Read your boring book. You were always boring. Even at school, you were boring. That was you. Prompt, reliable, diligent, courteous, and boring. Always in the top 3, always in the satisfactory reports, always in the team. I was never in the team, and I was a good player.
You used to play football like you were some sort of ruptured version of Tinkerbell the Fairy.
Well, you were no Peter Pan yourself, were you?
Come and sit down here a minute, Stephen.
What for?
Now, I'll tell you something about school. If it hadn't been for you, I could have stayed on and taken my A-levels then and there.
Oh, come on. From time to time, I may have taken the last of your sweeties, but I never tried to drag you down to my level.
I had to go to work. Dad let you stay on. You could have tried for any qualification you wanted, and you didn't. You didn't even try. All you had to do was hold out your hand and say, yes, please, and you didn't. You just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, well, at the time, you see... Well, I left because I wanted to earn a bit of money.
Oh, make a lot, did you?
Did you?
You had all the chances and all the opportunities that should have been mine, and you wasted them. You wasted them.
Well, you had chances. You had chances I wanted, and you never took them.
Like what?
Well, you could have had Nicola Clark up against the railings any time you wanted.
That's it, isn't it? That's about the extent of your ambition. A cushion between you and the railings.
What do you know of my ambition? I don't recall confiding in you.
You didn't have to. All you wanted to know about was how to drink beer, where to buy contraceptives, and how to scrape enough money together to buy a second-hand Cortina.
So I never got the Cortina. 2 out of 3's not bad. What's your score to date? None out of 1, isn't it?
Well, that's why I'm doing this, so I can acquire a skill.
I've got a skill.
What skill?
Plumbing. I'm a plumber, aren't I? That is why I have these. They're called pipe benders. What do you think they were? Nail clippers.
You're not a real plumber, though, are you? You're not a qualified plumber. You're a 10-part correspondence course plumber with 9 envelopes still to be opened. You are the sort of plumber who gives drains a bad name.
Oh. And I suppose you're such a scarce resource you can walk into any labour exchange in the country and write your own gyro, can you? Well, I'll never be out of work. I can always get plumbing.
But don't you see, Steve? You'll always be a plumber. All right, might seem smart to charge 15 quid to change a washer. It might seem like an accomplishment to knock off a bit of copper piping. But where's it going to get you?
Well, I don't know, Brian. But where's anything going to get you? I mean, you hop on the buzz, don't you? Go along for the ride. Up on the top deck, have a bit of a smoke, a bit of a laugh, a bit of a read of the newspaper and gob out the window.
Well, I want something better. I don't want tomorrow like today, always the same. Another fag, another beer, another hour in front of the telly. I don't want my life to be an aimless bus ride. I can do something better than sitting there gobbing out of the window. And so can you, Steve, so can you.
Well, what is there? I mean, you take away gobbing out the window, and what have you got?
Oh, get out. Go to your concert and leave me alone.
Can't go half naked, can I?
Look at the state of your chest. All you'd have to do was swallow a canary and people will mistake you for a birdcage.
What do you mean I look like a birdcage?
Or a Venetian blind with half the slats missing.
Yeah, well, you're not exactly Raquel Welch's old bra straps yourself, are you?
I thought you bought that for me.
You never wear it.
I don't know why I ever agreed to share a place with you.
Don't know why I agreed to share with you.
That one's easy, because you're a scrounger. You'd share a place with a 12-foot-high, 19-stone rancid pig trotter if it's paid its share of the rent.
That's what I'm sharing with.
Then why don't you find somewhere else?
Maybe I will. And maybe I'll do all right. And maybe I'll get myself a better job. And maybe I'll have a better career than you, with or without your qualifications.
Well, go on then. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, right. Maybe we'll see, eh? Here, Bri, you couldn't lend me a couple of quid, could you?
Well, if you won't come along, Brian, I'll just have to march as a contingent of 1, I suppose.
Well, I'd go if I could, Sonia. I'm sorry.
It's all right, I really don't mind. It's okay, you know?
I mean, even if you told me last week that West London vegetarians are going to picket the slaughterhouse, I could have planned to get some time off.
It really doesn't matter. I realise your exams are more important than I am.
Oh, they're not, Sonia. It's just I can't get any studying done, you see? It's Steve. I mean, I'm up to my small hours in books and cocoa, plugging in the light bulb at both ends. And all the while, he's in the background, clanging around like his trousers were made out of milk churns.
Well, he ought to be more considerate.
Oh, he's trying to be now. It's just the noise of him straining to be quiet is absolutely deafening. Some nights I think if the silence gets any louder, it'll perforate my eardrums.
I thought that sharing this bedsitter was just a temporary arrangement anyway.
Well, it's temporarily congealing into permanent now.
Well, this is it, Brian, you see. If you don't want clots in the ketchup, you've got to keep shaking the bottle, you know? Just move out.
Well, I'm in the middle of my revision. Anyway, I do sort of feel responsible for him, you know.
Yes, I do know, but you've got to stop feeling like that. After all, you didn't ask him to come down to London and stick his head through your letterbox, did you?
I mean, much as he infuriates me a lot of the time, I can't help worrying about him on his own. You see, I don't yet feel he's in a position to fend for himself. He's more like an upturned tortoise. Just lies there on his back with his wrinkled little legs kicking helplessly in the air.
We've all got to stand on our own 4 feet sometimes, Brian. And if Steve doesn't metamorphosise into a mature adult very soon, then the best you'll be able to hope for is he does a Franz Kafka on you and turns into a dung beetle.
Come on, Sonia, don't lose your cool.
Well, to be quite frank, I feel that your brother's coming between us. It's an intrusion. I mean, there's getting to be a lot of diluted quality and diminished intensity in this relationship, Brian. There's a lot of cooling ardour around, you know. I mean, if things get any worse, this'll have all the makings of a counselling situation.
Oh, it won't, will it? It's not as bad as that.
I hate to say it, but Steve's going to hold you back. All he wants out of life is to enjoy himself. It's appalling.
Sometimes I wish I never had a brother at all. Should have had a stick insect instead. It's my fault, isn't it, Sonia? I should encourage him. I should help him more.
No, Brian, you've done a lot for Steve. I realise that, even if he doesn't. You must never reproach yourself. You can only do so much. It's like they say, Brian. You can buy 'em a copy of The Guardian, but you can't make 'em read it, you know?
Well, perhaps he'll move out. That'll solve the problem.
Well, if not, I think you should have a positive reappraisal at some point in time.
Hey, Sonia, if he does move out, will you move in?
What?
Move into the bed-sitter with me.
Well, I mean, do you think cohabitation would be a viable feasibility at this juncture of our relationship?
Yeah. What do you say?
Well, I mean, there's more to living together than extra muesli and 4 big toes in a bed.
Oh, I'm not just saying it because of that. I mean, there's 4 big toes in the bath as well, isn't there?
You're getting carnal under pressure of work.
What do you say then?
You can linger in suspense. Come on, drink your beer. I'm not a sex object, Brian.
Sorry.
All right, my man. Working hard. Still reading the textbook that passeth all understanding, eh?
Hello, Steve.
Nice place you got here, Brian. Very nice. Admirable choice of colours. Not to everyone's taste, of course. Personally, I'd have stacked those oil cans in the other corner. But, shack on a song, goûter. French, that is.
Get on. You've been reading the backs of matchboxes again.
Right you are, then. I'll be off. Oh, I almost forgot. What an unfortunate oversight. I don't know what's happening to my memory, Carruthers. I'll forget my way to the maid's room and end up in bed with a wife.
Steve, did you just come here to murder a few minutes, or do you actually want something?
Ah, yes. I am desirous of settling up my account here. I'd like to pay for me petrol. Pump 4.
Hey, what have you got to put petrol in?
I've been inserting it into my vehicle.
What vehicle?
Didn't I tell you? I thought I had. It comes with the job.
What job?
Didn't I tell you? I thought I had. I've got a job, haven't I? Fancy me neglecting to mention a little thing like that.
Yes, it's not like you to be so reticent.
No. Unlimited earning potential, sky-high prospects, work your own hours, and a company vehicle.
Company vehicle?
Yes. So there's the money for the petrol, my man. And keep the change.
Oh, 10 whole pennies. Thank you so much, sir. I'll be able to buy that suite of furniture I've always wanted.
Sit in it and be happy, Brian. And don't forget, keep up your studies. Education, that's the way to get on. And one day, you too might have a good job like me. Until then, B.A. Calcutta, failed. Eat your heart out.
Feeling a mite peckish, are we?
We energy-intensive company men have no trouble burning up calories. We frequently have to eat our own weight in caviar and scampi.
I'll take a look. Hey, Steve, would you mind splashing your dinner over somebody else, please?
I don't know if I can eat it all now. Fancy a frisky pancake roll?
I've already eaten.
Oh. How's the studying then? 2 pencil-chewing days to go, eh?
Not going too badly. How's the company vehicle?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Ticking over.
Very swish. What is it they call that make of limousine again? Ah, yes, I remember. An ice cream van.
Excuse me.
No, but seriously, Steve, I mean, most executives would have gone for a Rover or a Jaguar. Some for a BMW or a Rolls-Royce. But no, I'm with you on this one. I think you made the right choice. After all, to get anywhere these days, a young executive does have to be seen hacking down the road, ringing the chimes in his chauffeur-driven ice cream van.
You might mock, Brian, but there's a lot of prospects in that job. The bloke I'm working for, he started off with just the one van. Do you see what he's got now?
Oh, yeah, 500 Eskimos working for him. Lives in a detached ice cream cone. It's set in 5 acres of raspberry ripple.
We'll just see, eh? We'll just see. When the exam results come out, then we'll see who's doing best. The pen might be mightier than the sword, mate, but it isn't necessarily mightier than the chalk ice.
Oh, come on, Steve, I'm just joking.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Well, suit yourself.
I thought that tomorrow, if the weather's reasonable and being a Sunday, and me having the wheels now, thought we might take a mosey on down to Croydon.
Croydon? Why do you keep nattering on about Croydon? Anyone would think Croydon was a magnet and you were an iron filing. Why are you trying to inveigle me down to Croydon? What's in Croydon? What have they got? Red grass, purple sky? Exhibition of naked traffic wardens?
Before I left home, before Dad threw me out, I had a rifle through his papers. I shouldn't have done it, I know. But I found out these things about the divorce. And I found something that had our mum's address. And that's where she lives, in Croydon.
Well, those papers must be years old.
Well, we could still go and see, though, eh?
Why? What's the point? I don't want to go on a wild mother chase. She's gone. She left years ago. As far as I'm concerned, she doesn't even exist.
How can she not exist, Brian? You're a part of her, aren't you? How'd you get here without her? In instalments on the hire purchase?
Look, she was that interested in you, me and Dad that she pushed off and left us. Now, why should I be interested in her?
Oh, I don't know, Brian. But that's where she lives. That's her address written on the bit of paper. It's on the bit of paper, Brian. I wrote it on the bit of paper. That's the bit of paper. That's the bit of paper I wrote it on. I wrote it on that bit of paper. That's her address there, written on that bit of paper.
I heard you the first time. Sorry, Steve. Look, when she left, you were very young. You don't understand.
Then I want to understand. You tell me. Unscrew the unscrutable for me. I want to know.
No, I've got an exam first thing Monday morning. I can't afford the time.
Well, I'll help you revise.
Now, look, what if she's not what you're expecting? What if she lives in one room with 5 smelly cats on 80 fags and 9 pints of Guinness a day?
She won't be like that.
Well, if you're not prepared to accept that eventuality, you shouldn't even go looking.
I don't care if she's got a moustache. I don't care if she's got a beard. I don't care if she's got a hearthrug for a chest or a plastic palm tree for a wooden leg. I don't care if she talks to herself, carries her memories around in a brown carrier bag, or goes to sleep with her head resting on the toilet roll locked in the ladies' bar. I just want to see. I just want to know. And then we might have something to be ashamed of. But then we might have something to be proud of. As it is, we've got nothing. We've not even got a photograph.
All right, we go tomorrow.
Oh, well done, Bri. Here, I'll get your lolly out the van.
You know, sometimes your outbursts of generosity fair choke me up.
Drive properly, both hands on the wheel.
Don't tell me how to drive. I can drive better than you can.
The only driving you're adept at is driving people round the twist.
Well, at least I'm not afraid to put my foot down.
Oh, yes. And if some little kid wants to stop you and buy an ice cream, he has to run at 60 miles an hour.
How does it get up run at 60 miles an hour? I think nothing of it.
Off, Quincy. I'm down.
Get off.
If you're not going to drive intelligently, Stephen, just stop and let me get out.
All right. Where do we turn off?
Next roundabout, second exit.
Hey, Brian. I don't know how you feel, but... Well, now we're getting closer. I feel a bit apprehensive, you know?
So do I. We should have written first and then gone.
Well, the worst she can say is that she doesn't want to see us.
Come this far.
Oh, that is observant of you. You didn't spend 3 years in the Brownies and learn nothing, did you?
You didn't exactly spend 3 fruitful years in the Cubs either, did you? You only learned how to tie one knot. The rest of the time you spent around the back of the hut, smoking and fiddling with your woggle. Going all right.
What sort of place do you think this will be, then? Where Mum's living?
What sort of place?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. Well, what I envisaged was a detached mansion somewhere, nestling in rural environs and leafy circumstances, with landscape croquet lawn, ornamental grotto, 4 or 5 gardeners, and a couple of pigs.
You weren't far off, Bri.
This might be it.
Well, it's the right address.
You sure?
Yeah, see for yourself if you don't believe me.
Could she afford a place like that?
She might have married again.
Not that I know of.
She Might have won the polls or come up on bingo.
I don't know. Maybe she won it at the village fair, knocking down coconuts. Hey, where are you going? You're not going to drive up to the front?
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sake, go round the back, the tradesman's entrance or something.
We're not common tradespersons, Brian. We're family. We're not a couple of honkies. If I'm going to see me mother for the first time, I'm going to go round to the front with a bit of pride and dignity and me head held high.
Sitting in your ice cream van?
Yeah, sitting in me ice cream van.
Oh, I want to curl up and die.
It's got big teeth, that hamster, hasn't it?
No doubt he looks after them with dental floss and gum massages.
Do you think we should have bought a present?
It's a bit late for that now, isn't it? Unless you want to wrap up the ice cream van and give her that.
Hang about.
What have you got there?
Block of raspberry ripple.
If I was religious, I'd pray for a big hole to be sent down so I could disappear into it. Go on, ring the bell.
Well, why should I ring the bell? Why can't you ring it?
Why can't you ring the bell?
I bought the ice cream, haven't I?
That renders further explanation quite superfluous.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes. Well, Brian.
I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but we're looking for a Mrs. Webber.
Webber?
Or it might be Weston. That was a maiden name.
Oh, yes, Miss Weston. She did work here, I guess.
Work here?
Yes, as a cook. But, I'm afraid she isn't with us anymore. Are you relatives?
Yes, her sons.
And you didn't know? Did no one inform you?
No.
Well, she never kept in touch, you see.
Oh, dear. Well, it must be over 3 months ago. Yes, over 3 months ago.
Well, would you? We never really knew her, you see.
Could you tell us which cemetery it is?
We'd like to pay her respects.
She's not in any cemetery, young man. She hasn't passed on.
Well, where is she, then?
She's in prison. Really sorry.
No, that's quite all right. Thanks very much. Let's go home, Steve. Come on, let's go home.
Sure you won't stay for a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. I only wanted to wish you luck with your exams. They do start tomorrow, don't they?
Yes, thanks.
Oh, and I brought you some peanut butter.
Oh, more peanut butter. Lovely. Hey, look, Steve, got another jar of peanut butter. It's good, eh? Well, thanks anyway.
How long's he been like that, Brian?
Ever since we found out about Mum.
Can't you do something? It's awful to see him like that.
Oh, I don't know. I've tried every approach with my book on psychology, apart from whamming him over the head with it.
Oh, I hope it's all right.
Hey, perhaps you could have a word with him.
Me?
Well, he won't talk to me because we're related.
I'm not au fait with this sort of crisis, Brian. It's not a recognised problem. It's not as if he was a battered wife.
He's got a good chance of becoming a battered brother.
Well, OK, I'll try. Steve? Steve?
Oh. Hello, Sonia.
What are you listening to? Your earphones aren't plugged in.
Nothing worth listening to, really, is there?
Well, you must have thought there was when you bought them.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's life, isn't it? Sitting around in silent earphones and nowhere decent to stick your plug.
Look, Steve, it's about your mother. I know it's bad to have a mother who's in prison. OK, that's cool. And I know that maybe you envy people whose mothers aren't in prison. OK, that's cool too. But you've got to understand, Steve, there's a hell of a lot more to life than just trying to keep your mother out of prison.
Oh, yeah.
You don't realise how lucky you are. There's probably a lot of people in underdeveloped countries who wish their mothers were in prison. I mean, wish they had a mother to put in prison. I mean, wish they had a mother, full stop.
It's easy for you to say that. It's not your mother that's crossing off the calendar in cell block number 9.
What do you know about my mother, Steve? My mother votes Conservative. Now, look, it may not alleviate the pain, but the small consolation is there's always someone worse off than yourself. So turn your attention away from yourself, Steve. Try and forget your mother's in prison, and let's think about saving the whale, yeah?
I think my mother's a touch more important than a bloody overgrown prawn.
Sonia's right, Steve. I'm tired of you wandering about this room as if you're one of the clouds W. Wordsworth felt as lonely as. So either tell us what is the matter or go and stuff yourself under your mattress.
Well, that's it, though, Brian. Can't you see? That's what's bothering me. That they'll have stuffed her under a mattress and beaten her up.
Who?
The coppers.
Our mother's a middle-aged shoplifter, not Attila the Hun.
That's what they do when they arrest you. They take you down the cells and stuff you under a mattress and jump up and down on top of you.
Why do they stuff you under a mattress?
So you don't show any bruises.
Yeah.
Steve, the police don't do things like that.
Of course they do, Brian. Don't be so soft. Don't you read the papers? First things you get when you join up are a pair of hobnails and a mattress for your locker.
Look, Steve, you're bound to get the odd bad apple in the bunch, but basically the fuzz are really fair, you know?
Thank you, Sonia.
It's a proven statistic, a well-known fact. The police get through more mattresses in a week than all of the bedwetters in the National Health Service.
You know, I've always tried to understand you, Steve. I've tried to understand your character and find out how your mind works. And now I've finally got you figured. You're a moron. Come on, Sonia, I'll walk you as far as the bus stop, love.
Hang on, I'll come with you. We'll have a pint on the way back.
Steve, get up!
What? Get off! What are you doing?
You stupid half-baked lead-lidded pillock! You reset the alarm, didn't you?
Eh?
My exam starts in 10 minutes.
So what?
Get up!
What for?
You're going to drive me there at breakneck speed in your whippy van.
No, let me clean my teeth first.
You better get me there on time, Steve, because if you don't...
Yeah.
You may need your toothbrush removed by surgery. $14.
15.
16. Hey, what are you running for? You're not taking the exam.
I like the excitement. 17. Brian, gym slippies.
A-level chemistry?
No, sex education. This is Monday the 22nd, young man, not Monday the 29th. Come back next week.
Terribly sorry. Beg your pardon.
Sorry. Forgot my brother.